Okay. Just one more thing about Dean Withers' debate today, and then I promise I won't talk about Dean Withers anymore. Withers. Now, Mr. Whipple was the Sherman guy. So he's not that, he's Withers, not Whipple. Smithers. No, he was the banker from Beverly Hills. But okay, so I don't know. I just thought that maybe he had some common knowledge of somebody else or relationship too. Okay, one more quick thing. I swear to God, I won't mention him again. During the Dean Withers debate today, it was brought up about how Trump is such a horrible man because he had affairs and Stormy Daniels, going on about Stormy Daniels. Well, Mr. Withers, young sir, Stormy Daniels lost one of those cases. The case where she insisted that he had cheated on her, which is really not a crime around the world, because if it was, then every human being who's married and in power would probably be in jail. So, and he did tell his wife, and it's ultimately up to her what she wanted to do, and she didn't believe it. She didn't feel it was something important enough. I'm sure it caused a lot of contention in their marriage, and that's really sad. But he denied it, still denies it, and he won in court with his denial, a jury of his peers. So, slam dunk, your argument, you can't even bring that up. Okay. But the person that he was debating about Trump and Stormy Daniels brought up Bill Clinton boinking Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office, and young Mr. Withers just oh, it's not the same thing, it's not this, it's not that, he did blah blah blah. And you're right, it's not the same thing, because Trump was not a politician, he was not running for an office, he was not holding an office, no public, nothing. He was private citizen, end of story, at the time that he and Stormy Daniels knew each other. Unlike Bill Clinton, who was actually the president at the time, appointed to the office, holding the highest office in the land, and in the highest actual physical office, the Oval Office, and married, and his wife and young daughter were just down the hall in the private quarters when he banged Monica Lewinsky. Both of them were married. The difference is that Bill Clinton spat on the American people by doing something filthy like he did as our appointed president in our Oval Office. That's despicable at best. And so there is no comparison. You're right about that, because what Bill Clinton did was a disgrace and an embarrassment to the American people. And if he had done that as a private citizen, when he wasn't sitting in the Oval Office, blah, 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 which has been another Trump incident, another man of power, man of wealth, getting involved. And a lot of men of power, men of wealth, they do have affairs. It's like part of their DNA. But it's also you don't do it when you're the president of the United States. That's the difference. He was the highest, most powerful elected official in the land when he did that with Monica Lewinsky in the office. And during his impeachment trial, he lied, saying, I never had sex with that woman. Well, Trump went in front of a jury of his peers, and they believed him when he denied it, said it never happened. They believed him. And keep in mind that men, these massively powerful, wealthy men, that they are always going to be subject to attacks, mitigated attacks for the sake of money. That's number one. People see a cash cow. They will blackmail, they will bribe, they will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, they will do anything. They'll get a guy drunk, and then they'll get some actress or some prostitute to lay down in bed with them and say that they were raped, and now if you want to give me $5 million, I won't say anything. So that's a problem. That's problematic. Okay. That they would do things like that. But they are vulnerable to that because they put themselves out there that way. Even women of power and wealth would have these issues too. Many people claimed to be relatives of princes after he passed, may he rest in peace, because they wanted a piece of his pie, his fame, his hard work. Okay, this is common practice. This interaction, this destructive, sick relationship between grifters and men of power. And also, Mr. Withers, with regard to the rape case, the alleged rape case of Trump, in her sworn testimony, she talked about liking it, or how she felt about it, and that a lot of people think it's sexy and stuff. So she wasn't up there claiming to be a victim whose life was ruined because of rape. So she is actually a disgusting human being who is vilifying legitimate rape victims. Also, he was not found guilty of rape. She went and sued him in a civil trial, and I am a civil court clerk. I know civil cases a lot better than you, Mr. Withers, and let me tell you, anybody can sue anyone for anything at any time. It is up to a judge to determine validity of the case, merit of the case. And they are still litigating this civil suit. But he was never found guilty of rape. And if he had been found guilty of rape, what would have happened? What happens to rapists when they're found guilty in a jury trial? They are taken off to prison. He was never taken to prison. He was never found guilty of that. So you are slandering him by running around saying he's a rapist. How would you feel if I ran around and said that young 19-year-old Dean Withers, blonde hair, blue eyes, white, Aryan race-looking guy, is a pedophile, that he diddles 5-year-olds? That's not true, of course. At least I don't think it's true. And I took you to court. I mean, you can't just run around and make these statements about people, horrible things like that, without some kind of fact and evidence to back it up. So be sure that you have your facts and your evidence straight. Okay. There is a fundamental difference between what happened with Clinton and what happened with the Trump and Stormy Daniels, and that is that Trump was found innocent. His jury of peers ruled in his favor, not Stormy Daniels. He was not sitting in the Oval Office as president at the time, which is a whole different deal. He was private citizen Trump. You know how many millions and trillions of men around the world are banging women other than their wives, or men other than their wives right now at this very moment? Private citizens are private citizens, but the president is the president. And what he did, and the fact that he was impeached during that impeachment trial in front of the entire world, he vehemently denied what he did. But it was serious enough to bring impeachment charges, so he did something. But to even put yourself in a place of being accused of something like that, that you were, diddling some intern of yours in the Oval Office while you were president, everything about that is despicable. So get off your high horse, do your homework, and until next time, do good and be good.